Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3. Hello, and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I'm Darren Moser, and am joined, as always, by Fleet Commander Philip Gilfus and still Ensign Daniel Prue.
What is this nonsense?
Hey, when you wear the costume, then we'll talk about it.
Oh, it's because I'm not wearing a uniform? Oh, okay. All right. I see.
No.
Acting Ensign Daniel.
Philip always shows us up wearing like amazing costumes and like sits in his replica captain's chair. It's okay. It's okay. I at least have a Star Trek t-shirt, but I just by chance put that on. But we're back. We're going to talk about Star Trek. But before that, as we usually do, we'll check in on our rewatches. How is Prodigy coming along for you, Philip? Again, no spoilers.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where I am. Episode 8.
Okay.
I just finished because I
season
remember they
2.
flipped. Yeah, it's they flipped it. What is it? There's no in beauty, there is no truth, because they flipped it from in truth, there is no beauty, which is the TOS episode where they introduced Medusa. And so I'll give you a hint on whose character gets focused on that episode. But yeah, no, still enjoying it. I always feel guilty, like, I haven't watched a lot, but in some cases, I don't want it to be over. So I'm glad I'm sort of going slowly. It's sort of, I've done like 3, and then 2 episodes. So yeah. They don't seem short, and that almost sounds like a complaint, but it's not, because they're what, 20 minutes or something. They seem like chock full of stories, so it's right. Not. I'm enjoying it. Again,
the animated. I'm always amazed by animated shows, like how well they can do. Maybe it's the nature of like controlling exactly how long things are, but they pack a lot, into like a 22-minute time frame. Like you couldn't pack all of that. You'd be zipping around so fast on a live action show that short. But what about you, Daniel? Movie rewatch? Are we starting that? I will say I played a movie trivia game with my wife, and I had to either give a line, give a quote, or act it out. And one of the cards said just Star Trek. And actually, there is no movie called Star Trek. It's Star Trek the Motion Picture. Why did they just call it Star Trek? After the fact, I remembered. Oh, yeah, 2009 was a thing. Yeah, okay, I feel dumb now, but yes.
Well, that's a great segue, because someone posted in one of the chats the other day where the composer from 2009 had posted like this cutesy little remixes of some of his songs that he has done previously, and he had done I guess he was calling them exotic mixes. Anyways, it said, a bunch of like it sounded all like Hawaiian or something like that, tropical, I guess I should say.
Okay.
And he posted one of Enterprising Young Men, the main theme from 2009.
That's a good theme.
Man, it's such a good theme, dude. And then I was listening to it, and I'm like, maybe it's time for a rewatch. So maybe upcoming, we re-review 2009 Star Trek.
Just that one. We don't have to watch.
No. We just watch that one.
That one that came after and beyond. Okay, we'll watch Beyond.
But anyways, because it's been quite a long time, quite a few years now since I've seen 2009. I love that movie so much, and so I think I might have a rewatch for that on the horizon for sure.
Not to get into it, but I think 2009, I still will be like, that scene. I'll have a comment for everything. Beyond, I think I need to watch it again. Because I'm not saying Beyond's the greatest thing, but I don't remember watching it, sitting there going the whole time, I have a comment about everything that's happening. I just remember it's, enjoying it.
Beyond was really decent. I enjoyed it. Well, anything after the dumpster fire, that was Star Trek Into Darkness. But all right, but today we were actually just browsing around on the internet, and I came across it's like Babcom No, wait, that's
Series
a different
2.
franchise. So, but we came across a large Star Trek auction that's going on in the Pacific Northwest right now, and it was a lot, guys. It was a lot of Star Trek stuff, but it did make me think about my own collection of things. And Philip, I can always see what's on your shelf in the background and posters, but I thought it'd be fun to just share about not to brag and say like, oh, I have this and this, but more like, why did you choose that? There's so much Star Trek stuff. There's even there's way more TOS stuff than anything else. There's everything and everything. But why did you pick the kind of things? Were they more keepsakes? Were you every Hallmark ornament every year was the buy, or did your toys start like mine did with playmates that you never kept in their packaging because they were meant to be played with and go on fantastic adventures, sometimes mixed with Star Wars characters and or G.I. Joe. So I'll start. I often enjoy having it's the only place I could find to put it. Philip knows this pain. My Playmates Bridge playset is like bolted to the wall because that sucker's huge. It's like probably 2 feet long and 18, 20 inches wide, but whatever that is in metric, Philip, you can quote on that. But I love this. We never got anything like this after this, like something so big, it really shows the peak of marketing that TNG had. It just had everything in its throes. But this was, such a fun set. And like I said, many a action figure movie was made with this. So I still have a lot of my Playmates action figures, but they're mostly up in the attic. There's a few that sit on a couple of shelves, but I can't part with them. I didn't have like everything and anything because they started to Picard as Galen from the
comes with an action
Darren's
flute.
dismissing it like he wouldn't have bought that. Like
I totally would have
because my
couldn't
parents
find it. Okay, I couldn't find it. Geordi turning into a blue veined alien transporter.
I never got.
Lore, which was probably wearing the same costume as Galen. Was but
random Benzite.
Yeah, Mendon, Mordock. It's all. Wait a minute, it's the same guy. But all that to say, man, they were just cranking those out. And sure, they had maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like maybe a dozen points of articulation. Not a lot, guys. Not a lot. Sitting in the captain's chair looked very
those
awkward.
legs are
They were always like, I want to sit with my knees tucked up under me or something. It's what it was enough for us. And we liked it. They were all man-spreading every time they sat down. All of them. Didn't matter. But that was my start. I just, again, enjoyed playing with them. Again, my friends were so kind to me because my spring break was, hey, come over to my house for like 3 days. We'll stay up every night and we'll make a little video with my action figures and it'll be fun. And it was fun. But also I'm like, man, my friends were the best because that's quite the ask. But what about you, Philip? What kind of things started your Trek collecting? Was it like the model ships you had to assemble, or was it also Playmates? I mean, we were all before the Eagle Moss era of mini, tiny, perfectly replicated ships,
Yeah, it's funny because I think, probably like many, my collections probably stem from what I couldn't get. Because it is weird when I think, what did I actually have as a child? The answer is not much now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, as far as Star Trek stuff, I was not deprived by any means. But like as far as Star Trek stuff, like I can remember and this is a random thing. So I remember my dad, I don't know if it was Hot Topic or Spencer's Gifts, but had like a huge like display from whatever Star Trek was selling, DVDs or whatever. But it was it was huge. I mean, basically I hung it from my ceiling fan, but it was like a monster where it was almost like done 4 ways, and each section was a different series. So it was like TOS and then TNG and DS9 and then Voyager. I think it was honking, but that was so cool. That's always like when I see movies, like they're
I just want the display. Like, like, I'll just put that in my room.
No, like when the old Star Trek movies are, I mean, they're all old at this point, but all the old Star Trek movies are playing at cinemas. I'm always like, if I see a poster, I mean, they don't keep those, right? Like, come on. But then I don't think that. Anyway, but long story short, I mean, I know I had Playmates action figures. Now, I don't remember I had a lot, though. I mean, I probably had a Picard, obviously. But like, I'm trying to think back. Like, I could tell you Turtles, how, it's like, I tell you the first one, it was the spin on his back, Raphael action one. But
with the cord?
It's really,
so that was the one where you yanked the cord?
No. It was like the whole action set. Like Donatello was like a swimming one where you wound up.
Oh, gotcha.
And then Raphael had like a little blue thing you'd really put in his back and you could spin him around. Anyway.
Yep.
I don't think I have much.
He's cool, but rude.
Yes. Because as I look around my room, my Trek room, like anything original from Phillips' hands from the 90s, I don't know if I have anything, to be honest. I mean, this is all, since, 2010.
Adult money. Adult money bought this room.
100%. Yeah. Because a lot of stuff nothing ever got thrown away. But like, for instance, like I own a Voltron from the 80s, with all the lions, but that's mine. My mom threw mine away originally, and so I had to buy a new one. So yeah, it is hard for me to really look around and see anything original. I don't know when I got it. One thing I do remember having forever is the Shieldcraft Goddard.
Yeah.
So
have you recollected everything, or is it a goal of yours to recollect everything that you once had?
Like I said, I don't have a lot, and so I think it's really what I wanted, and I think, and obviously TNG person, but then there's a slight completionist because, like, I'm looking at my TNG bridge set. I have all the TNG folks behind me that you can't see. I have like a DS9 shelf, which I'm still not a huge DS9 fan, but I have like the original DS9 figures, and then I have a few of the later ones, like Cisco in a chair in the new uniform. I have Worf in the new uniform, which you could argue is a TNG, but I put him with DS9. I have Dax in the new uniform.
Mr. Worf, why are you on this shelf? Well, I happened to be in the sector, and the movie was starting, so I came down here.
But same thing with Voyager. Now, I don't really have a complete Voyager, so I'm kind of in the market. I just don't think the figures look great of Playmates Voyager. So, like, I don't have Neelix yet, because I don't think his looks really good. But I
had a Neelix.
I don't have the Doctor. But I have everyone who should be on the bridge. So that's the only thing. And I got lots more than that, but that's sort of the long and short. And then Enterprise, they had like the big figures. And so I think my Archer that I think the Archer I have may be original to me. But my T'Pol and then my, Tucker I got like 3 years ago or something. And I think I got T'Pol the same year. So yeah, not a lot of original stuff. I mean, without me babbling the whole time. I think what really drew me, especially when I discovered, not sponsored, discovered my person who does all the 3D printing, Triple Fiction Productions, because when I saw what he was doing, because we all grew up with the play sets, like you said, Darren, and the TNG bridge set, pretty good. Right. A lot of the other ones, not what they looked like. I mean, you can still have fun with them.
There was really 3. It was the bridge, the transporter,
which is right here,
and the engineering. Yeah.
I have engineering because engineering looks good. I mean, it doesn't have go long ways, so you'd have to sort of where the table and all that.
It's like just enough to play. Oh, yeah. It needs the pool table. Yeah,
but
and a door for Geordi to roll under. Just check that figure.
Transporter room was not doesn't. I mean, I don't want anyone who loves it and enjoys it and has great memories. Well, it doesn't look like the transporter room,
right? Because it was a practical effect.
Yeah, it was like
it had to
shake and bake. But like I have the 3D printed transporter that looks like the transporter room, and then I have the Voyager bridge, and then the without going into it. But so that's how I sort of have crafted my collection. Is like, oh, he 3D prints these, bridge sets. He does a bunch of stuff, but like, well, then I have to get everyone at their station, and so it's sort of like I have these playmates that can go with the set, but then the set requires more playmates, and so it sort of built that. It was my excuse, but anyway. But yeah, so I mean, I'm by and large, to stop talking, is an action figure guy.
Okay.
I do have some ships on the shelf because I just always wanted that observation lounge thing. So I do have like a shelf that has, original A, the B, I've never made a C, don't get me started, and then D and E. So
yeah, it's still always been on my list to make. Eventually I want to make, I don't know, out of foam or 3D printing or something, a full size replica of the Golden Enterprises on the wall from the observation, because those suckers are big. There's that like behind the scenes picture of like Doug Drexler and a couple guys who like rescued him out of the and like one of them is like 6 feet long. Like it's huge.
It's gotta be the B, right? The Enterprise B or the Excelsior or whatever. It's gotta be.
No, it was the D. Yeah, it was the biggest one. But it makes sense. Like they're along a wall, which is 20, 30 feet long. But
I figured that wouldn't be too difficult, right? Because they're not super detailed. They're just
they're very
just the profile,
and they're purposely made where, like, if you were to look down instead of straight on at them, all of the features extend, or it's kind of like they're extruded back to the wall. It's like the nacelle isn't floating there; it's going all the way back for support. So nothing is like dangly; like it's all just extra. So all chunky and thick. So
one thing, just and this is random, but when you said the bridge set, Darren, because I was thinking in the back of my head other toy sets from the period, and I know you're a parent, I'm sure you have toy sets that you've had to deal with. But like I would say, I don't know, 3/4 of play sets are usually designed to like fold up to travel. Because I'm thinking of like Hot Wheels stuff I had that would fold up. I had Pee Wee's Playhouse,
Micro Machines,
and that would fold up. And then this bridge set is a monster. But then I think about I was
taking this to a friend's house. It was like it lived on your coffee table and it didn't go anywhere.
I mean, I was not a G.I. Joe person, but I remember there was like big sets. Those that was another thing of you put that on the table and it lived there.
Yeah, when I was young, we always had like a group of friends, and each of us kind of had a thing. So like one of my friends had like all the Lego. And not that I didn't have Lego, but like he had a huge collection. And one of my friends had like G.I. Joe, and like one of my friends had Ghostbusters, and I had Star Trek, and one friend had Turtles. So we just went over to whoever's friend's house we wanted to play that day and saved so much money, or our parents' money, I guess. But, what about you, Daniel? Were you action figure or poster or collectible card
game? Did you have the Technodrome? Or did you have the party wagon?
We're talking about Star Trek, Philip.
Oh, okay.
I had both the Technodrome and the
gargoyles. I'll allow it because of all the voice crossovers. So.
And the sewer, the Technodrome attached.
Wow!
I had them both.
The Technodrome was awesome.
Yeah, the Technodrome
front opened up and the ball rolled down and crushed your enemies.
That was cool. Yeah, I had all the turtle stuff. I was big into the turtles. Star Trek at the time, not so much. Like you guys, I know you guys always talk about the bridge play set. I never had it. I didn't have anything from TNG era except I had some First Contacts, like really tall figures we've talked about before.
Right around 96, they kind of started to do different scales. It wasn't just the Playmates, 3 3/4. I can't remember the exact size, but
yeah. I had a couple of Enterprises, but that's probably it. That's kind of like so I'm not big collectors really like you guys
and
are.
That's totally fine. Like that's not the point of this to be like, well, Daniel didn't spend an arm and a leg of his lunch money to be a true fan in 1992.
If I were to, and I kind of like Philip mentioned, like being a completionist, like that's the thing. If I were to get into it, I would. That's why I kind of avoid it. It's like I don't want to do it because then I'll want all the tiny ships, and I can't get all the tiny. Where am I going to put all these tiny ships? I don't know, man.
You broke your little ships.
But I get lots of gifts and stuff like that. So I kind of have like a mishmash of everything, really. And like you mentioned, the the Hallmark stuff. I get a bunch of those, and
Okay.
so I have it's just some stuff. I have stuff, but it's not. I don't go out of my way to collect because I think that way would be madness for me. So to be on the safer side, I sort of chill. So
When you say a bunch of enterprises, I am curious which, like, what form and.
at the time, well, I had the one. God, so I sent one. The
Like the
we were
regular
looking-
Enterprise D that didn't have a stand, and you just
Yep.
put it on the
And
thing.
also,
and you're like, I don't know.
I actually put it in the chat if you guys want to take a peek. But we were looking at that auction from before, and it's the one where you put it together. It was it's called Steel Tech. I had that Enterprise as well, and it had sound effects and lights, and it was very complicated. And I remember it rusting eventually, so I had to throw it out.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like a erector set kind
Exactly.
of
It's
set.
yeah. It's like
Well,
Kmart
erector set for the saucer, and everything else is plastic that made it look like the Enterprise.
That's because that housed all the electronics and the lights
Right.
and stuff like that. So, so I had just like 3 or 4 of the like different types, and I was all into that. I had a Defiant as well. It was one of those model kits that me and my dad put together, which were not good for playing. By the way, you should not play with those, but I did at the time, and it was very
Bam, bam.
it was all gray because I never painted it or anything like that. So,
You're like, it's
That's
cloaked.
cool, yeah.
Doesn't have to.
yeah, exactly right.
I do remember, just because I am looking around and like within arm distance, micro machines. These are, I'm kicking with my foot where they are. Those are original to me. I say original to me, contemporarily bought whenever they came out. Because I remember those when the I don't know what to call it, the big box of Star Trek micro machines came out, because they sold them in
They had
threes.
2. Because I remember it was a
the
big one. It was like Star Trek,
Three.
and then it was like Star Trek, and then it had like Pack 2 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, when that first one came out, that was, I mean, I got that, and that's what all these are for you. But yeah, that was because it was like,
We all recognize those like teardrop stands.
oh yeah,
It was like a creamy white, because
how
they
many
all had.
lost and broken, and
Oh yeah, because
The
they
Enterprise
had
D is separated, right? That's what I remember.
there's several.
one of them.
There's a
probably
regular
did.
one, and there's a separate one that I got it right here. This is the one that separates right here.
Yes, I remember. I
But
have
it's
fond
not
memories.
the main one. That was sort of a special one.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's.
I wanted all of those. I did want all of those.
There you go, Dan. Here's your teardrop stand.
Yep.
Yep. But anyway, but yeah, because that first came out, and then like it was like especially, it's like you got all what you would think you would get usually, all the ships you would think, TOS, Enterprise, TNG, and there's like the special Enterprise A, was like the special one on top, and then the second set, the special one was the Enterprise E, and then
I
it was
don't
sort of
know
like
if I had that.
yeah, and it was like it's like Beatles when the Beatles anthologies came out, like first volume, second volume, and by the third they're kind of scraping the barrel, and so it's
Right.
after that it's like Kazon Fighter 2. You're like, okay, I mean, if it comes with the others, why not?
It's kind of funny in this age of Eagle Moss where it's kind of like, man, I got all these ships for a fraction of the price and a fraction of the size back in the Micro Machines era, like, rather than $25-$30 a ship. I mean, obviously, detail is different, but
because some of them I forget what they are, and I always have to like Google like volume 2, and then I'll pull up my ship. What is this again? Bajorn Fighter, or is that a Kazon? What is this thing? Anyway.
yeah, no, I was again like you said, Philip, earlier about the the 3D printed sets that kind of like fill those gaps that never came to be. Because I mean, I totally I understand why Voyager didn't have a bridge playset, like that. There was just not that wouldn't have been supported. That would have been a bad financial decision. But, oh man, I think we all dreamed of like some sort of promenade set, with Quark's bar. I mean, the thing would have been massive.
I
Like
just love all the adult
flag
things that would be in that commercial. Time to go into Quark's bar for some
Gambling.
Syntha Ale. Are you at the Dabo table? I'm all in on my gold pressed platinum.
like the Dabo girls like blurred out in the background because it's like we can't actually show you that for the age
Hey, the
we're
credits
going
to go to
for.
the Hollow Suite.
I thought Nutty didn't exist in the future.
It's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
No.
Mr. Worf, what
Odo.
are you doing here?
Putting down this illegal weapons trade.
That's not a just street sign. That's Odo, with more faction.
Oh, it's just like the slime of like 90s era.
Yeah.
Odo.
No, yeah, I think, the more you actually say it, the more I'm like, okay, I can kind of see like that would really work as well. Although I always wanted an Ops. Like Ops was so cool, even just to understand where everything was, because it was very hard for me as a kid to get a bead on like, wait, like where's Dax? She's over there, but like because it's just in the round, so it's very, very tricky.
One thing. So we're talking about like quirks and stuff like that. One thing that I would be, it's like somewhat interested in doing is like either screen used or replicas. Like say you get like some of those mugs or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had one of those mugs with the flared base.
Yeah,
and it like leaked all the time because it wasn't that well made. But well, I already shown you guys my cloaking Klingon Bird of Prey mug that looks like the kind of misprint heat adhesive stuff on the outside. It kind of works. But yeah, no, I think, I recently been getting some more of the little ships, just to put on the wall and remember. But I've gotten a lot of gargoyle stuff with the recent NECA figures because those are all the figures I kind of wish existed. Because you look at gargoyle stuff from the 90s and it's very like, was this mold original or was this something else? Like it didn't quite look like the show. They kind of had a lot of artistic license, but but it's, it's fun. It's fun remembering, if I want to make another Playmates action figure movie, I could, I guess. I don't really have a desire to.
YouTube channel, here we come.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me is, as it went, not that I have gone to that many lately, but when I go to cons, my favorite thing else is just really the vendor's booth. That's really the only thing I care about. Is just looking at stuff. And when it comes to, and I'm not talking about like say books or posters or pictures, all that wonderful stuff. But as far as like stuff, merchandise, toys, whatever you want to call it. But like for me, accuracy was always more important than say like completionist or da-da-da-da-da. And I don't mean like, it has to be 100%, but I'm like, well, if I'm going to buy a phaser, I want it to look like whatever I'm looking at, a TNG phaser, TOS phaser. But if it's like, here's the remote control, they're like, what doesn't look like? I mean, that's just my taste. People, you can vary how you.
No, I know what you mean. It's like, this isn't a phaser. This is a cash grab.
Yeah, exactly. but like, you were talking, Darren, earlier about sort of like people who have maybe large collections, and it's just like, maybe it's just to collect, which is fine. Nothing, not, yucking anyone's yum. But like, to me, it was always like, I mean, it's got to look like the thing for me. And that's what's cool to me. Like, because I like living in the world. And so even like the Playmates, I mean, obviously there's a completionist element to like a show. So like, well, it's TNGO and all. I don't care. Riker doesn't look like Riker or something. But like beyond that core group, if I'm going to buy like I don't know my height stuff, but like old school Barbie size, whatever all of that is, Picard or Q or whatever. Like I would never buy it if it didn't look like I remember, was it First Contact when they made the bigger figures? Like, it was the old school G.I. Joe Barbie.
Yeah.
Like they still had regular ones, but they
started having ones with like cloth clothes, and it was like my little mind was like, I can't take this so much.
Hey, Phil, just out of curiosity, like so for example, for your TNG, like the Voyager one would be easier, but like for your TNG bridge crew, are they all represented like from the same season? Like is what is Wesley wearing? Is he there at all? Like do they have the pinstripes at all?
Does Picard have his captain jacket?
Does Riker have a beard? Like does it all match up in terms of timeline? I'm just curious.
For me, yes, it has to. I would have like a conniption fit. Well, because like here's the thing: when not necessarily a favorite character, but I felt like this was an example of like it's not a completionist, but I'm like I still want to get. I got the Yar Playmates, which is a season 1 Yar, and I do not own any season 1, season 2 Playmates.
So Worf's always in yellow and not
Yeah.
in red.
Yeah. So, but like,
Or
I'm looking at
Geordi.
so like I have Ensign Rowe at the helm. But I do have a Wesley. He's in my 10 forward, I think.
What kind of Wesley though? Like which one is it?
I think they only made one. Like in the command, at full
Like the
Ensign
gray
Crusher.
The gray
Yeah, I
on
don't-
gray on gray.
No,
Well,
it's
I'm not
acting
counting-
ensign.
Galoob or
Yeah.
whatever before Playmates was. Obviously, that's a whole other set of figures. But as far as Playmates, I think they only ever made one Wesley. Feel free, people yell at me, correct me, but I think they only made the.
See,
That's
one
the
of
thing with the
real
Playmates. I
completionists-
always found there was like more. Like I thought like I had them or all of a type, and then I'd look at like some catalog. It'd be like, oh my gosh, there's like 80 more that I didn't know ever existed. That they made this.
Well, the Great White Whale, of course, and I've seen it. I mean, not in person, but it's
Galen?
data in red. I mean, that's the Playmates.
Oh,
It
okay.
exists, and there's there, but it was such a limited number. I mean, you got to sell your right arm to get it these days.
I think you should get one for each season and then populate them with figures appropriately. That's what you should do.
Well, I mean, then of course, this is how it has to be. Like every tableau or set, whatever you want to call it, does have to be consistent. So, like right here, my engineering set's right here. I think I'm trying to remember how this started. I mean, I got the engineering set presumably. I mean, this is not original to Philip, but because I have some variation of figures, I probably have like 3 Picards or something, but I don't know which one of these figures started. But I had the generations, so then that meant, well, if they're all going to be generations, they're all going to be generations. So then I have Geordi and the generations, or Voyager, whatever you want to call it. And then I got the Barclay. So like
nice.
that set is all like everything has to be consistent, or my left R will start blanking or something. But yeah, so yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, the only season 1, season 2 is Yar. No one else has the. But like I have a Borg corner, and I'm not necessarily a Borg guy. And I'm trying to remember how because there's Christmas and birthdays. I'm easy to shop for, and some of those may be like old, like this is 2024. They may be 20 years old at this point. But like I have some like decent sized special Borg figures that they made back in the day, and I think I may have got 1 or 2 of those, and then later years, I'm like, you sort of see it at cons. You'll see they'll sell stuff. And I know you all know this, but like you go to cons, they'll sell like the stuff that's on the wall, but then they'll have like the bin of like $2 each.
Yeah, rummage here.
Yeah, which by the way, dig into them. I mean, depends what you're looking for. But like, so I ended up having like 2 generic Borg, a Hugh. Yeah, there's 3 generic Borg. But anyway, but so now I have a little Borg corner, even though it's not necessary, but it's just, you accumulate. Like I have a Borg Rubik's Cube, which I think my mother-in-law gave that to me.
How do you solve
for Christmas.
Wait, you just win. You're always winning. You get the Borgs.
So like in that one, I ended up buying a, because then I have my Borg Cube Micro Machines, and I ended up buying, I don't know what you call it. You've seen them at Spencer's Gifts or Hot Topic or those kind of stores, where it's the circle light. It's a small version, like the big version of like, but like if you make a noise, it'll do the Borg light. So I have that right there.
It
so
was
like, as I'm
it would
talking
be
now,
the things at the top
it'll do
of
it.
the Borg chambers.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm very thematic. That's how my collection goes. I'm like, because I mean, I had a bunch of stuff. Because like I have a bag. I'm not a big bag, but like a plastic bag full of like extras that like I will give away happily to anyone. Just like, figures I'm not crazy about, or I've accumulated, or, you buy 5 and there was only 2 I really wanted. And, and so.
Well, awesome. Well, yeah, it's, I think, like we said, some people collect for nostalgia, some for, technical prowess. Like you want to know, like, okay, what does this ship look like? Like, there's also some things on. Well, there's some things on like if they came out with even a big model or of like the Sagan class from Picard, the one with the 4 nacelles, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Like
the Stargazer
the Stargazer. I'd buy that so fast. Like I love the look of that ship. So we each have our own ships that we like. I got a nice XL Eagle Moss Reliant over here that I just brought over from its shelf to sit on my desk. I'm like, oh, I want to look at that for a while right now. It's such a fun ship.
Yeah, there's some stuff like, y'all know we share similar tastes, but I ended up getting the Discovery Eagle Moss. It wasn't, I didn't, sell a hand for it, but.
No bloody A, B, C, or F?
Yeah. Well, I think it's technically the A, because, but.
Are the nacelles attached, Philip? That's what I need to know.
They are detached. Yeah.
Well, they're not actually detached because
there's plastic holding
that
them
would break the laws of physics. But
So I don't. I look at technically I don't have anything from Picard, I guess, per se. But then what would you? You could have the Serena, I guess, or the Stargazer, or the Titan Enterprise.
We don't talk about it.
I know.
Talk about it.
But
that's what they need. They need a transformer changer where you take the Titan and you go do, 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 and then it turns into the Enterprise to the Titan A, and you're like, how exactly did that happen?
All you need is a sticker for that. That's all you need.
Yeah, because I'm sad because, sad that it's just modern, and we've said this before. Contemporary Trek just doesn't seem to have that merchandising arm for whatever reason. Because Lower Decks, or not Lower Decks, Prodigy. I'm going to have
Prodigy is ripe with stuff. It should
Playmates be. They put out. Well, it should be, but it's not. Because without even spoilering, this is the season 1 thing. With Murph, you'd have the original Murph, and then you can sell
or Zero
modified.
Zero's changed a whole bunch in the series. So
their figure is cool because you can actually modify it. Because you can put it with legs, or you can take it off, and there's a plastic back you can put on it, and so it floats.
Oh, for the ball,
yeah. So that is pretty cool. But I'm sad because obviously there's not. Well, they haven't put out a Rock Talk or hologram Janeway, but oh well.
So go watch Prodigy season 2
on
Netflix. Get those numbers up
over again.
I will. Okay, stop bugging me.
Leave it in the background the whole time. Let your pet watch it. They'll enjoy it.
We've another discussion for another time. I'm not a hard media person. I don't really own that much hard media Star Trek. I own all the movies. But the other thing I own is Prodigy season 1. So I will buy Prodigy season 2 when it comes out, just to be like, please, come on, guys.
I did buy all of the. I think some are gifted, but I bought all of the Lower Decks Blu-rays just to have, just because I also don't trust streaming to never not show shows, and I'm like, I like this show and I want to buy it and show that I like it, so they'll see like, oh look, people are buying this physical media. So physical media, physical toys, there's all sorts of things to collect. We didn't even get into plates, but we don't have the time to get into the plates and why plates.
I do have coasters. They're TOS coasters, and again, sometimes I don't even know where they get this stuff. I cannot consciously remember spending my own money. I feel like it's a gift or somehow otherly acquired. I'm seeing if it's literally around me, because it's like 6 of those, and as I clean, every year or whatever, I periodically I take everything out, put everything back in, and what's left over, and I'm like, do I want to give away? And or is it a clever way of I'll put my TOS figures or large TOS figures and just put them on top of the coasters? So I don't know. You always go just I don't want it to be junky, even though it's close quarters here, but
no, exactly. All right. Well,
didn't even get to uniforms. So
it's been fun listening to Philip talk about his collection.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. No, I'm teasing. But no, I think I'm glad that it all is a franchise that has a lot of stuff. I mean, if you want Stargate or Babylon 5, it's a little harder to find those things. So
I do have Babylon 5 on the bottom shelf right here. So.
Oh, there you go. You're true fan. Well,
hopefully you don't mix up those figures.
Yeah, no, yeah. Just, look, they're all at an intergalactic peace summit somewhere, Yeah, the Babylon 5 people are like, your space station doesn't spin? How? Artificial what? But all that to say, if someone wanted to find you, Daniel, and mail you your wish list figure, where would they find you?
Man, if they knew that, they would know me better than myself. So you can find me at 1 of 10. That's the number 1, not the word.
And Philip, if someone wanted to send you filament to 3D print more of the Enterprise, where would they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at CAPTSFUFP, and I have all of my Doctor Who figures on there. Oh, Star Trek 2 stuff, I guess.
And if someone wanted to watch my 1994 or 1999 home movies with my Playmates action figures, they're somewhere online. I should link to them, but they might be able to find it at drsci-fi.com, DRSCIFI.
You took a big break between those, huh? You needed to write the sequel, and you needed some time to build up the
Buy
budget.
more figures, you know.
Okay.
All right. I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
Stranded here on City Alpha 3.